Alright, so I have this idea to try to get an extra step out of the reloading process, which is getting my cases sized first. You know, I got to take my case, stick it in there with the sizing die. This isn't the sizing die. Stick it in there, got to run it through the sizing die, do a whole bunch of them, and then change my die to the expander, which puts a little flare on the end of the case so that the bullet actually fits on cases that are sized. The bullet won't fit in there. It's too small for it to get started. So you put it through the expanding die, which stretches the opening of the case a little bit so that the bullet can get started without smashing the edge of the case. I did a couple of them, but I'll have to start over again. But then after the case has been expanded, then I got to take the case and bring it over here to the powder measure and put the powder in it and then set it back in. So, well, that seemed to me to be an extra step to, you know, just bring the case over here. I thought, well, I've seen it out on a different type of press that the powder measure sits up on top of there, and I didn't see anything for the single stage Lee that allows you to do that. So I cut a 1/2-inch block of nylon. It's some old cutting board material, 2-inch square, and I put my marks on there that'll allow me to mount this on top of the press and then put my powder measure on top of that so that the spout ends up on top above this funnel, so that when I put the expander die in like it is here, put my next case in, run the case up in to expand it, and while it's in there, what I had been doing is either dump it in this cup and then transfer it over there and put it in that way, or bring the case over and stick it under the nozzle and do it that way. But with the powder measure on top of the machine, I'll be able to run the case up in there and then flip the handle and let it go down in, and then I can just pull my case out and it's ready to go into the bullet seating process. So let's get the holes cut in this thing and see how it works. Since countersunk screws were the only ones that I could find, I'm going to go ahead and countersink these holes here. Nice finished product there. That'll be alright. Now, let's take this down to the press and how this works. Got my block. Screws go in here. Now, I made this so that it would be somewhat easy to work with, because I'm going to have to change this back and forth when I go from pistol to rifle, because the rifle does not have a powder through die, so I'll just have to do the transfer operation with the rifle shells, but this should work with the pistol shells. So if my holes line up, should be able to tighten that right on there without too much trouble. Oh, good shape. Get it wound down in there. Doesn't look like there's any contact problems. Get that nice and snug. Then I can use the same screws that I had this mounted onto the bench here. And if my measurements are correct, I should be able to slip my little funnel right underneath the spout for the charge to drop into the case. Well, I guess the worst part would be being able to get my fingers in here to operate it. That would kind of help. So stick that in there and be able to grab a hold of the handle. Everything moves, has clearance around there, and the charge will drop right through. Be able to stick a case in there, pull the press down for the expander, drop my powder charge, pull it out, and set it in the holder. Excellent. Alright, 1/2 inch 2 by 2, and that'll set it right up. It's a little close there, but everything's lined up. Won't get any spillage or anything. Go over here and take a roundabout view. You can see that the nozzle there is right in line with the funnel, so it's not going to go astray. That should work. There you go. Looks like it'll work. Hopefully that helped you out too. And have fun.